Hey guys, it's your boy MKS here, back at you with another video. Please, after you watch this, if you watch it all the way through, hopefully that'll be great. But if I hope for you, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, please leave any comments that you want, any questions if it's not clear or anything like that, anything you want to know or anything like that, or anything you want to post in the comment section is always welcome. Negative or whatever you want to post. Hopefully there won't too many. I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep having fraudulent slips and all that, so I hope I don't say anything too embarrassing or whatever. But anyway, can't think of too much to say for the intro, so I'm going to try and crack on with the list I was working on. Again, in my previous video, I talked about how I was thinking of making like one for, as I made one for Disney, sponsored Town Football, and Disney-related theme parks, and Red Bull, Blue Bull, and things like that. Please check that one out if you can find it, or if you want to find it and you can't find it, please ask me on the link, and I'll try and send you a link to you or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, and I was thinking of doing one for like McDonald's, but because I'm thinking like to try and encourage as many sponsors of the Town Football as possible, as many people, companies, corporations, and so forth, especially huge corporations, to sponsor Town Football, pitches, sports, facilities, parks, whatever else, football gear, and that sort of thing. Because I want to encourage as many as possible. I'm thinking not just McDonald's, but as many companies as possible. So I've chosen a specific company, but I hope this sort of will be copyrighted as an idea for as many sponsors as possible, to make things like theme parks that are football related, or their own leagues, their own teams, and things like that. Anywho, number 11, hopefully if one or two companies, corporations or whatever, such as Red Bull or McDonald's or Subway or whoever else, Disney, whoever, creates their own deal or sponsor Town Football, hopefully that will encourage more companies to want to do the same, because obviously they'll, especially if it's a success, so obviously I want them to be as successful as possible, because then it'll encourage them to carry on doing it, and it'll also encourage more people to compete with them. And hopefully once one or two companies do it, other companies won't want to miss out, so they'll jump in at the opportunity to do so. So hopefully, as I say, once one or two start, then hopefully others will join them. Number 12, as I hopefully somehow I'll find a way to write to these companies, or people will like these videos, and which would be great, of course, but hopefully they'll use them to write on behalf of the Town Football and Celtic respectively, to sort of see how this can work. And hopefully, I often talk about this idea of maybe being a bit naive, but if the more I make videos about Town Football or Celtic or whatever else, hopefully the more the brand value will go up, because it's like how many times you mention it, it's trending and all that. So I'd love to know, again, do you think I'm being naive on that one or not? Number 13, I know, like I talked before in my previous video about how people are not always happy with the commercialization of football. Like people might not like Red Bull, Salzburg, or things like that. But again, I asked, this is a difficult dilemma, because obviously I don't want to support something that's unethical, and I know there's other things outside of football which are important as well. Human rights and freedoms, and animal rights is important to me as well, children's rights and everyone's rights, and hopefully making the world better for everyone. That would be one of my goals. So it is a difficult balance, but part of me still wants, when I'm making football videos, I sort of think the main thing is to help Town Football and Celtic respectively to be as successful as possible on the pitch. And obviously the more money we get invested, especially at club team level, the more we can buy players, but also buying facilities to help people train as well, which, as I've talked before about, helps to save money on buying players, and also if they do really well, you can sell them on as well, so it saves money and also helps you to make money as well. Number 14, again, maybe it's difficult to obviously criticize a company if it sponsors your project or whatever, so it's difficult to criticize human rights, but maybe like Town Football and People in Unity could still talk about how human rights can be improved in and Celtic as well. And let's say a company in Saudi Arabia or China or India or wherever else in the world that doesn't have the most human rights there could be a cultural exchanges where they go to Italy and see what rights there are in Italy, and perhaps learns from those. So they learn from each other, and hopefully that will help those countries and companies to improve their human rights as well. So hopefully there can still be that, and also charitable work can be done for people around the world through these projects like YouTube football matches and things like that, which I also hope, so not just sponsors, but I also hope to fundraise as much as possible. Like fans can, like say fans of Milan, AC Milan could donate an amount they can afford to lose. So if they get a wage, the wage is €500 a week, they could give 10% of that, like €50 a week, towards the development of Milan. So as a club, so that could be used to buy football pitches, and help people in their local area or local fans to have like Milan footballs that they could help to buy for poorer kids from that region and things like that. Similar with Napoli, similar with Inter Milan, similar with Juventus, and all over Italy again. Similar for Celtic, like fans putting money into the club to help the club and all that kind of thing as well. So helping the club at this point. I know if you go to games, you're sort of buying the tickets, you buy stuff, you possibly buy merchandise, which hopefully goes back into the club and helps the club financially, which is, as I say, a big thing nowadays. But they could also give specific direct funding. And I suppose it's what would a fan prefer, to have more money or for their team to do well, which is something which I think is in a way more tangible. Like you might not appreciate a motorbike or a car or even a nice house as much as you might appreciate your team winning the league. I'm not sure, but that would be up to individual fans, of course. But if we can get as many as possible to do that, that would be great, I think. Number 15, again, I hope to. One of my goals is to help, and most of my videos are about Asia nowadays. Like these few months, April, May, and June. Yeah. So I hope to get back to some of those videos about Asia, but Asia will be a huge market for both Serie A, or Italian football generally, and Celtic, because obviously Asia has like about 4 billion people, I think, approximately. And I've talked about this before, but so it has, and apparently 60% of the world lives in Asia, so it's a huge market. Obviously, they've got some of the most growing economies as well. And I suppose I hope to kill two birds with one stone, because financially / economically I support Asia, and football-wise I support Italy and Celtic. So I hope to combine those two together, and also Africa to an extent as well. And again, hope to improve relations and things like that. Number 16, I hope to look at listen to different people's ideas, and like maybe they could some other people can take some of my ideas and look at how they could be advanced or improved or changed in some way to benefit even more, and look what can be achieved, what can be number 17. I hope to talk about some of my imagination again. Hope people will find it interesting and enjoy the passion and find it fun and exciting to hear and that kind of thing. Again, interesting things like that. But yeah, I'd love to see like a China and India working together more, and a Chindian network that could work together in business and politics, and hopefully will benefit China and India as much as possible financially, but also they could invest huge amounts of money into Italian football, maybe even like Chinese and Indian government buying as much Italian football teams as possible, or even investing hugely in the league, maybe even take like having a main ownership of Serie A, and also similar for Celtic as well, which would be amazing, because obviously Celtic is just one club as well, and it's in a small, like it's in Glasgow, it's quite small. Scotland is quite small, and Glasgow's quite small, so obviously it's just quite a smaller league which doesn't have as much money. So that would be amazing to have that kind of money. And I know some people say like that's going to make it too easy for them, but obviously as a fan, if anyone thinks like that wouldn't be fair, but if anyone thinks that wouldn't be fair, Celtic are actually still behind Rangers in terms of how many trophies have won internationally, unfortunately. I mean, how many domestic trophies have been won overall. So it'd be interesting to see Celtic catching up with Rangers and even going ahead. So I think this would be great. Again, hope they'll invest in the local area which is deprived in Glasgow, so would build football pitches and tackle unemployment. Obviously, they'd have to employ local people, as I've talked about before. Sorry. Number 18. Again, I hope that, like I've often said, like again in my imagination, I dream for like Italian football to have as much money as possible. Like even imagine if it had trillions of pounds, and similar for Celtic, or even the same for Celtic. But like I think if it does as much money as they get, I think they should invest 10% into charity, like building football pitches in Asia and Africa and places like that. But those football pitches, both Italian football and Celtic do that, and also go over there and travel and play football with those people as well, and record it on YouTube. But those football pitches and footballs and all that will also help the people there, who are often very poor, and obviously, and they need other things like food and water and stuff like that. So that can be funded for as well. But obviously, if people are quite poor and they have just enough to get by, but obviously taking them footballs and things like that with merchandise, like Celtic footballs and Serie A footballs and things like Milan footballs and things like that, with the club logo on it, hopefully will again attract more fans. So hopefully what they give will come back to Italian football in a positive way. Hope that makes sense. 19, again, hope for Italian football itself to like fundraise for African startups and SMEs and things like that, as well as and also software developers. Sorry, that's what I meant to say as well. But yeah, startups, SMEs, and software developers. And in Asia, like startups and SMEs, but not tech related, because all my tech ideas I want to use to benefit Africa. And 20, again, maybe I'm being naive with these ideas. Sorry if this video was long. As ever, I'd love to know what you think. I'm out. Peace and love.